All my friends are chilling. They got jobs lined up. I'm like, fuck, I don't even know how I'll be able to pay for rent in New York. It needs to be irrational. But again, if your gut feeling is there and your heart is there, you give it a go.
Did you ever fully drop out?
This is Ash Ahmed, and let's just say grit was hard-coded into his DNA. At 21, he took a huge risk to go all in building a tech startup with zero money and zero prior experience. That gamble led him and two friends to become the youngest founders at A16Z's Startup School Accelerator. But right when Ash thought he'd finally made it, the unexpected happened. His co-founders got cold feet, and he was left all on his own and back to square one. But it wasn't all a waste. While everyone around him was living out their college dreams, landing cushy jobs, Ash put his head down and got busy. His story is that of the underdog, how a 22-year-old defied all odds to raise $2.5 million to build technology that the world has never seen. But his vision wasn't always clear. When Ash started at Harvard, he had no intention of becoming a blockchain founder.
Most people, their crypto story is like, oh, I got into Bitcoin in like 2010 or some shit. For me, it was like freshman year, went in wanting to do econ. So me and a friend took this like sophomore level econ class that was very intense and a lot of theory that never goes into practice. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? This is such a waste of time. And that whole summer, I was at Amazon just telling people like, man, I'd love to do some startup thing. I would give out a million ideas. None of them is like the right one. That was the mental space I was in.
No one really knows what they want to do when they start college. And Ash was no different. You have to try a whole bunch of things until something sticks. And when it does, you have to push it.
I was in a club on campus that matched kids up with investors and angels to just do research. Initiation night, we're like on some bridge doing a scavenger hunt. And I get a call from like one of the, like, I think it was like co-president at the time. She was like, we have a spot on this like random crypto team. I think you'd be really good for it. I'm thinking like, why on earth does she think I'd be really good for it? And then it's just like, things work out. If it weren't for that, none of this would have happened. I feel very lucky. Like literally that one call on that bridge is what like kicked off all of this.
Opportunities can present themselves at any time. And what matters is that you say yes. Because it was only from taking that leap of faith that Ash discovered a huge opportunity in DeFi and blockchain. But great opportunities demand even better execution, which led Ash to another problem. Ash had never coded a day in his life.
Me and my friends at first saw how much money was in crypto, and I was very philosophically excited. Again, no code written until like probably halfway through sophomore year. And that was where I did my first hackathon like 6 months later, not crypto related, and then first crypto one like 7 or 8 months later.
Ash was able to speedrun learning how to code and discovering what kind of impact he wanted to make through entrepreneurship. Instead of just reading textbooks, Ash forced himself to learn by competing in hackathons. That's what allowed his team to accomplish what so many early founders spend months struggling to do.
A lot of people spend way too long ideating, when in reality you just need to get it out and then iterate on it.
Oh my God. And we've been thinking, even now, it's like we spent like a whole like 3 days working on like some Figma doc and design and all this stuff for features. And like first call customer, like one guy hates it. You kick yourself.
A hackathon is one of the best places to ideate quickly, develop skills, and meet other hackers. And most importantly, unlock opportunities to begin your founder journey. 4 weeks after winning, his team got accepted into A16Z's prestigious accelerator in Los Angeles. But the problem was, Ash was still a full-time student at Harvard. We've all heard the stories of Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg dropping out of college to go all in on their dream. But he didn't want to drop out. So he did what most people wouldn't even dare to. He did both.
You were still building your startup at the same time. You're juggling both.
Yeah. I mean, I think jugglling is a strong word.
You're technically taking the exams. You were still at school.
Yeah, we flew back for the one in-person midterm and final that we needed to do, yeah.
Did you ever fully drop out?
No, we never did.
That hustle is insane.
At that whole semester, we were probably only in Boston for like 7 days total.
So the professors never found out?
Actually, there was one guy where we weren't even trying to hide it. Like we went up to him on the first day of class because we had a week or two before we had to fly to LA. We were just like, hey, we're doing this thing, really cool. His first reaction was like, all right, hell yeah, guys, when you fly back for like the finals and the midterm, let's get a drink. Like, it's on me.
For 12 weeks, he lived a double life as a student and founder in training. It went okay for a time, but soon, the pressure at the accelerator ramped up.
Being an underdog, what did that feel like in terms of like the skepticism?
You're in a room with like a bunch of people that are like late 20s, early 30s, all like ex-Google, Airbnb, whatever, cracked software engineers, if not PMs or other roles in like tech companies that I can't even get a job at.
Did anyone ever laugh at your idea when you were pitching it?
Nobody laughs to your face if you're reasonably confident. I think it was mostly like internal judgment, which is very right, or they're not laughing at you, but like to your face, but they kind of are behind the scenes. I think we got that a lot during the accelerators. Other people were growing mad fast. For us, lots of things were not going great during that period of time. So it was like oh, these kids just haven't really done shit over like this past week again.
As the accelerator came to a close, the unimaginable happened. The crypto markets went haywire. and all the work that Ash and his team had been building was thrown out of the window. And right at the end of the accelerator, his co-founders walked out on him.
My friends had moved on. I had no idea what was going to happen to the company or the idea. I'm literally sitting there like trying to brainstorm possible next steps. And looking back, it's like you can see the trail that got you there. But in the moment, it's the most frustrating thing ever.
Imagine being 22, the youngest person in a room full of savage, hungry founders. Your teammates gone, on the brink of failing out of Harvard, pitching your startup idea that has just been completely wrecked by the market. Any sane person would have quit right then and there, but not Ash. He flew home to Boston from the accelerator with a lot on his mind. He wasn't going to quit. During his senior year at Harvard, Ash locked in. He was determined to pivot his original idea with A16Z and create something meaningful. After months of late nights, trial and error, an idea finally began to take shape.
It's gorgeous outside, like Boston in the summer. All my friends are chilling. They got jobs lined up or whatever. I'm like, fuck, I don't even know how I'll be able to pay for rent in New York. I haven't applied for a traditional job. Like, let's see, right? There is an attitude it needs to be irrational. But again, if your gut feeling is there and your heart is there, you give it a go.
How is that possible? I mean, how do all those experiences fit into how you came up with the idea for Axal?
My senior year, so this is 2024 spring, clear night, like in the dining hall of like, this is what a network could be. It finally made sense. Instead of me writing custom automations for every task, let's make that a market. Like, it's no different than Uber Eats or TaskRabbit or whatever. It's a market where somebody else does the job and I verify it.
This was the birth of Axal's unique vision. It was a simple idea, but what made it intriguing for investors was how it leveraged blockchain, something many people were skeptical about, in a way that could genuinely improve people's lives. And after several more months of failures, in October of 2024, Ash finally secured $2.5 million in funding. So I had to ask Ash what he's currently building and why he thinks that everyone should be paying much closer attention to Web3.
What is that final frontier that you're building out?
Axal is building this network of agents that will go and fulfill any task for you with guarantees. That's a big claim, and we're building up towards that vision. We're starting off with like tasks that are easy to verify. Prove that somebody else transferred funds correctly. Prove that someone called a smart contract correctly. Proof of rebalancing your portfolio. Proof of finding you the best yield out of this list of 10 pools. And we're trying to package all this up into one really easy to use consumer and like institutional focused product called Autopilot. If I have a platform that automates for that for me, like fuck yeah. So I think like ignoring all the buzzwords in the tech, like we have just tried to build a really easy to use like DeFi management platform as our wedge. Long-term, Axal can automate anything for you. Like, and that's the part that I'm most bullish about.
Sort of like set it and forget, right?
Very much so.
Like what you're fundamentally building is like the world's most powerful network ever. What's the best way for people to sign up? Where should they go to basically join the Autopilot community and actually start using it?
Just go to ax.al. Like everything goes from there. Socials, on Twitter, you can go to Get Axal, like GETAXAL. And yeah, we post a lot. We got a Substack. We got an amazing podcast. We don't know what will win. We're taking our bets. Like we think Autopilot today is the right bet to focus on. And we have a couple other ideas for next steps, but we have no clue. We'll see. We got to build ourselves out and prove it out more.
Ash Ahmed's story is a playbook for every scrappy builder with a big idea. You don't need to have the perfect plan to start building. You just need to start, make a ton of mistakes, and never give up. To all the builders out there are thousands of problems to be solved. Now, go take a bet on your own story. And maybe we'll be making a story about you next.